Hey everybody, it's Travis, the Pagan Scholar. Lately I've been watching a lot of YouTube, and I've also noticed that a lot of people who are making videos currently with the advent of Lunasa have been like, fall is coming, pumpkin spice latte, fall. No, not in Texas. Lunasa does not signal the decline of the sun god. He's sort of in full swing. Fear his wrath. Mabon is actually when the sun god starts to decline a little bit. I guess you could say he sort of strokes out a little, but he's still there, clinging to life, refusing to die. Yeah, Texas, we get a lot of sun. So that actually prompted me to make this video, a tag video. I wanted to find out what your environment is like and how you celebrate the Wheel of the Year. Ergo, the environment tag. I really wanted to make this tag because I think that there is a disparity, you could say, between the Wheel of the Year as published in popular contemporary pagan publishers, is kind of focused on, I don't know where they have perfect weather. Kansas? Virginia? So I just thought it would be really pertinent to examine what the Wheel of the Year would look like, what that entire mythos, what that story narrative of creation and the cyclical nature of the year, what that would look like in Arizona. You know, instead of having holly and oak, you would have like a cactus god and a desert goddess. In Louisiana, you would have, I don't know, what do they have in Louisiana? A cypress god and a swamp goddess. I think those are really like interesting, pertinent metaphors that could be really fleshed out and explored. Now, Texas has a huge geography. I mean, we have swamps, we have deserts, we have deciduous-ish places. My Wheel of the Year is not going to look like somebody in El Paso, is not going to look like somebody in Amarillo, is not going to look like somebody in Odessa or somewhere. So I live in the DFW Metroplex, and this is what the Wheel of the Year looks like to me. Question 1. What does the Wheel of the Year look like to you where you live? Here, I'll go with the seasons, and then I'll go to the actual Sabbats. Winter has typically been dry, cold, but nothing to, like, freak out about. Certainly not cold enough for Northerners to take us seriously when we say we're cold. Springs are kind of, sort of just whatever. I mean, it's spring. It doesn't really... Yeah, I mean, like, my parents were farmers, and so it was a big deal for them, but spring is very short. You've got maybe between March-ish and late April. Summer is hot. Let's just put it that way. And fall is sort of like the salvation from that inferno. It's so lovely. Everything is dead. There is no allergies, and it lasts, I don't know, I guess it would start up in October, and goes until early December, depending on the year. To go through the Sabbats really quickly, Yule is kind of how they describe it in other, in contemporary pagan books. It's cold, hooray, it's dark, aw. Imbolc is also kind of similar. It's basically, oh my god, I hate winter, make it stop already. Ostara is, again, spring in Texas. It's kind of like whatever, it doesn't really happen. It just goes straight into summer. Beltane is lovely. Everything is alive, and everything is going to incite your allergies to make you want to stay inside. Litha is hot. Lunasa is hot. You can't do a Lunasa ritual during the day. You just have to wait until dark, otherwise you're just going to burn to a crisp. Mabon? What's that? I mean, it's kind of cooling off a little bit. I mean, it's still not this, like, lovely, crisp idea of fall. It's still really fucking hot outside. And finally, Samhain! It's fantastic. I love Samhain. It's my favorite holiday. And yeah, it actually feels like Samhain, like they describe in the Llewellyn books, in whatever book you choose. I mean, like, it's crisp, it's cool, it's dark, it's nice, it's mysterious, it's spooky, it's fantastic. I love Love, 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 love Samhain. Question 2. What, in your memory, has changed in the environment from rituals of the past, according to, like, what your environment is now? A lot has changed, actually, in the recent years. Our winters are no longer dry. They are torrential, glacial downpours of cobblestone ice and hail, and terrifying, and awful. And of course, our springs have changed, at least this most recent spring. Holy shit, that was the most rain Texas has ever received in recorded history. And I know that's only, like, recorded history of Texas weather is only, like, I don't know, 200 years. But, no, that was straight up the wettest spring I can ever recall. I have never seen that much rain in Texas, period. Summer it's gotten a little bit more mild, which is weird. I mean, we still have, like, ridiculous 3-digit days, but those are, like, spikes. And they're, like, really, really hot, and then it's just kind of, like, whatever. And whereas before, in my past, I remember it being that, like, all summer long. This summer, it's just sort of been, like, oh, I'm supposed to be hot? Okay, cool. And fall has remained as lovely as ever. Question 3. What is your favorite holiday in the Wheel of the Year, and how does it differ, or how does it stay the course with other traditional publications or ideas of the Sabbath? I promise, guys, I'm going to streamline these questions in the down bar. I promise. It's just I'm kind of, again, my notes are... So question 3, what is your favorite Sabbath, and how is it similar and different from typical descriptions? Well, as I already said, my favorite holiday is Samhain. Yes, spiritually, because it's a time of reflection and growth, and a shit ton of people have died in my life, and... sorry. But, no, it's my favorite in terms of weather, because it's the most agreeable time of the year in Texas. There's October, and there's April or May, and that's, like, the only times you get where it's actually comfortable and you don't want to peel off your skin. And I would say it's very similar to how other pagan books describe Samhain. It's cool and it's dark. An air that the veil is thin. These just lovely sentiments that are going around. So it's my favorite holiday. Take it or leave it. Whatever. Question 5. What is the most... Question 4. I told you my notes were bad. What is the most un-Sabbath-like Sabbath you have experienced due to weather, climate change? Well, of course, the most recent Litha, I mean, I made a really short, crappy video about it. I woke up to it raining, and it's not supposed to rain in Texas in the summer. Like, what the fuck? It was so bizarre, so strange. I mean, like, I really enjoy Litha a lot. It's actually my second favorite Sabbath. I had a wonderful experience during a Litha ritual once that really drew me closer to stuff. So I've always been able to appreciate the heat because of that engagement with Litha. However, this most recent Litha, it was overcast, it was cloudy, it wasn't very hot, it was really humid, which was kind of, again, bizarre in Texas, and it just kind of threw a wrench in all of the energy of what was supposed to be happening that day, and I didn't like it. Question 5, for real this time. What is your understanding of nature? Is it something to be preserved? Is it something that should be taken advantage of? Is it something that should be viewed as a resource? It's a very open-ended question. When I got my degree, the university that I went to was very, very, very geared towards eco-philosophy. Actually, its philosophy department had a lot of really wonderful, strong philosophers in the philosophy of ecology and the philosophy of sustainability. I hated that class so much. I sold all the books from that class. Otherwise, I would, like, here's a book, ta-da, read this. But I sold them because I couldn't fucking stand them. Anyways, no, but I do have a little bit of a background in eco-philosophy. So, yes, you could take it like Heidegger and say that we are inframing things as resources, but I feel like that leans a little bit too close to evangelical Christianity. Because if planet Earth is just a resource to use, because it's just like, you know, a bus stop on the way to salvation, that just destroys and obliterates the planet. And you can't view the planet as a resource because the planet is finite. It is not infinite. So, sorry, I do view nature as something that needs to be preserved. However, I also like to think nature has its own sort of Geist. If you, yeah, we're just going really German today. Lots of Heidegger. No, but there is sort of a Geist towards nature. It is something that can't just be used as a tool. It needs to be preserved, again, because it is finite. If you're watching this, you're not going to say that nature is a tool to be used at your disposal. It's something sacred, something revered. I think that there is a degree of hylozoism, if you wanted to. Hylozoism going on in contemporary Western paganism. And if you want to find out what that word means, you can always look up The Phenomenon of Life by Hans Jonas. Yeah, Hans Jonas. I knew I could do it. Ha. That goes around in contemporary Western paganism that says we should revere the earth, that it has its own psyche, its own soul, its own consciousness. However, I'm actually going to approach it from a different perspective. Yes, I think nature is something that should be preserved because it's finite, but also it should be respected because nature changes, it adapts, just like humanity. Nature doesn't need humanity to go on, because truly, the earth is an ecosystem and it wants to adapt and sustain itself and survive. Eventually, it would become inhospitable to humanity, and, just like the body wipes out a virus because it is detrimental to its survival. You can call it Gaia Theory if you want, you can call it whatever, but I really think that we should kind of dot our T's and cross our I's to make sure that we don't get kicked off our planet. And finally, question 6. 6, is that how the Germans do it? I know they count 1, 2, 3, then is it 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? I don't know. How do you think climate change will affect our view of the Wheel of the Year? I think this is a super important question. It's the most important question, that's why I saved it for last. I think that if we don't adapt our idea of the Wheel of the Year to fit with climate change, then we're just clinging to an antiquated and defunct idea of nature. If we have wetter winters and hotter summers, but we still refuse to accept that in our nature cosmology, then that's kind of like burying your head in the sand. It's refusing to accept a problem. And it's sort of adopting an antiquated belief system when obviously it's not the case anymore. I can think of a few religions that do that. And that's it. Okay, so that was my first tag to have made. It was kind of all over the place, again, because my notes were blah. I really look forward to hearing your answers. You can respond to the tag in the comments below, or, even better, you can make your own video of the tag. Just a few quick words before I cut out the video. I am still going to be doing the rest of the book reviews. Well, most of them. One is dry and one is incredibly difficult and fills me with ennui. But I do promise I am going to be finishing those videos. Also, I've got something in the works for a future academic, quasi-philosophical, something else idea for videos. I'll give you a hint. It involves tarot cards. And for the second half of that clue, you can check out my Twitter. I'm not fishing for followers, I promise. It's just, I already proposed the idea on Twitter, so if you go check that out, you might have a heads up on future videos that are going to be happening. And finally, also, I am swiftly approaching 500 followers, and I know that's such like an inane who cares number, but holy crap, guys, that's amazing. I'm thinking about doing something for that, a very special video. So, with all of that being said, I just wanted to say thank you so much, and as always, merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again.